everyone! Today we'll be doing project number 3 in our Sweet as a Peach online class. You can always check out my website www.carolbcrafts.com to see what current class kit I'm offering as a customer reward with a qualifying purchase at stampinup.com using my current host code. So let's get started. We'll be using the Sweet as a Peach bundle, which includes the stamps and the dies. And I'll put that number on the screen if you want to purchase it. Be sure to use my current host code so that you can earn a customer reward of a class kit. This is an adorable little card. It is a thank you card. Thanks so much. Thanks for being as sweet as a peach. We'll be doing some stamping and die cutting. And so let's get our kit. I should have 2 kits left. This one here on top is the one we're going to be using today. And you should have a PDF that I emailed you to follow along with. So I always do your basic white in quarter sheets and your thick basic white in half a sheet so you don't get them confused. So let's get our trimmer out. Here's our trimmer. We're going to go ahead and score this 8.5 by 5.5 at 4 1/4. And then we're going to fold it over and crease that fold. Okay, set that aside. Now, if you follow along on your PDF, the next thing that we have is Pale Papaya. Okay, if you look at your sheet, your Pale Papaya is going to be 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. That's for the outside. And then the other part of your Pale Papaya is 4 by 5 1/4. So we need 4 by 5 1/4. And that is for the inside. For our basic white, we're going to need 3 3/4 by 5. Okay, that's going to go on our smaller piece of Pale Papaya for the inside of our card. Now you'll have another piece of basic white that's a quarter sheet, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. We're going to be stamping on that and die cutting. You have a sheet that's 4 1/4 by 2 3/4. That's going to be for our die cutting our leaves. Then you have some DSP, and we're going to do this at 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. So 3 7/8 this way. 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. There we go. This we'll put with our leftover items. And for this, now we want to make sure that that we cut lengthwise, and we cut so that the lines are vertical. So this is a horizontal card, so, or a landscape card, so we need to cut it first length, the widest, which is 5 1/8. So 5 1/8, and then we're going to turn it and cut it at 1 1/2. So 1 1/2. And that's going to give us our center there, just like that. Okay, And this we can also put in with our items for making leftover projects later. So I think that's it for our cutting. Now we will also, we have some ribbon here. The ribbon is Pale Papaya and white woven ribbon. And it is 10 inches and 7 inches. And the numbers there on your PDF. So we're also going to stamp this label here. Thanks so much. And you have 2 labels in your envelope. You might just need the one if you don't make a mistake, but I give you 2 just in case. So we'll be stamping thanks so much on these labels, and they're from the Messages dies. We'll be stamping on this, and we'll be stamping on our smaller piece of basic white. So let's move everything out of the way for now till we can get to it. Here's my Stamparatus, and the inks we're going to be using today, won't be using our Pear Pizzazz. We'll only be using the Pale Papaya and Calypso Coral. So let's start out with our Pale Papaya. Maybe if I move this over just a little bit. I don't want to over it too much. That's about as far as I can get it. So let's hope that that's not too annoying. Okay, so our larger piece, a quarter sheet of basic white, is going to be just to stamp our flowers. And we have to stamp the flowers 3 times. So let's get our flower stamp out. That's this one right here. And we'll be using this tiny little one, but for now we're just going to use this one. And remember, we have to die cut, so let's not get too close. Make sure that stays in the corner. Pale Papaya for our flowers, our peach blossoms. I'll do 2 just because I can. Now I'm just going to try to move this over a little bit, and I'm going to move it so that I know I have plenty of room to die cut. And I'll stamp again. And I'm doing it twice because I want it to be nice and rich color. Alright, so now again I'm just going to turn this probably like that and see if I have enough room. There, that should be fine. And stamp one more time because we need to do this 3 times. And we'll be die cutting these out as well. Okay. Let's clean off our stamp. Now we're going to get this little starburst stamp out of here, and we're going to put centers in our side of our flowers. We're going to use Calypso Coral for that. So inside each one. This is what I call fun stamping. All right, cute little flowers. Clean off that stamp. Now we are ready to do our sentiments. So let's grab our 4x6 window sheet. We'll do thanks so much first. That's these labels. And I have a piece of scratch paper that I put just a little bit of Stampin' Seal on to make it stick. Let me get my thanks so much stamp. Thanks so much. I'm going to use Calypso Coral for that. And then I'm going to just slide this underneath the plastic and line it up, and it fits perfectly in there. Put my magnets in place and ink that up. Thanks so much. I'll do it one more time lightly. All right, perfect. But you do have the extra one in case you need it. We'll clean off our stamp. Clean off our plastic. I'm going to use our plastic again for the inside. This time we're going to do thanks for being as. That's a little stamp. Thanks for being as. It's right there. It's really tiny. Okay. Thanks for being as. I'm going to use that in Calypso Coral as well. And this time we're just going to take our inside sentiment panel and we're going to slide that underneath there. And this is horizontal, so don't do it wrong. We want it long ways this way. Thanks for being as. And put our magnets in place, ink it up. One more time lightly. Thanks for being as. Turn that off. Clean off our plastic. And dry it off a little bit. And let's see, this time we have to slide it in this way, so maybe we'll put our plastic like this time. And thanks for being as, and what is it going to say? Sweet as a peach. Sweet as a peach. You got your, it's 4x6 this time, so peel that off, put it in the corner, ink it up. I hope I put it down low enough. Okay, so the only thing we have to be aware of is that we leave room for a flower there and a flower there. So as long as you do that, you will be fine. Okay, I think that's good. So I'm going to put this down, ink it up. Sweet as a peach. Cool. That's our stamping. So we'll clean up the rest of our ink here. And we'll move on to die cutting. So the first thing we want to die cut is our flowers. So I'll get that die out. And that is this one right here. It's 3 in 1. So you have a large, medium, and small flower. That will help you to line these up. I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Right here I have plate 1, plate 2, plate 3, my image and die face down, and plate 3 again. Just going to run that through. So here's our little flowers. So line these up again. Okay, so I'm going to line those up again and die cut them. This time I'm just going to run it through and then run it back. For me, that's easier, especially when I'm on camera. So we have 3 more flowers, and then I'm going to line it up again. One more time for the flowers. Now you might see that your flowers have like an indentation in them. If you don't like that, because it kind of makes them look wrinkled, you can do what I'm going to do right now, and that is I'm going to use 2 pieces of white cardstock. Anything you have in your stash, it's better if it's white, but it doesn't have to be, as long as it doesn't bleed onto your images. So what I'm going to do is just put these in here. I should have 9. I'll count them here in a minute. 3, 6, 9. I'm going to put another sheet, and basically what I'm doing is pressing them, like I'm putting them through a press, ironing all those kinks out of them. And we'll get that off. Now all those kinks are gone. Let me just set those aside over there. Now for the leaves, be sure to put your dies away so you don't lose your dies. For the leaves, I use them, and I have put them in a little container because they are so little. So we're going to cut these twice, I believe, is what we need to do. I believe that's what we need to do, cut them twice. You can cut as many as you want. Whoa, these are tiny, tiny, tiny. So if the leaves don't come out, you can use take your pick tool or another pointy tool that you have and push them out. I think one of them fell down here. Okay, so there's some. We're going to be doing another set of them. Let me set those over there with my flowers. Okay, more. Run those through. Okay. And since I can't remember how many I needed or how I got them, I'm going to go ahead and do it one more time. Just for good measure. That way I'll have plenty of leaves to choose from when I'm building my card. All right. That's it for our die cutting. So let's start building our card. Take your "thanks so much" twist it off. Don't pull it or you might bend it. And here's our front, our ribbon. So let's do this. We know that it's so that goes there, this goes on the front. So let's just go ahead and put these together. Okay, that's going to go on the inside. Thanks for being as sweet as a peach. And then on the front, the other Pale Papaya, the larger one. And it just has a 1/16 of an inch all around. Now this was going to get some ribbon, so we don't want to be too hasty in putting it on. And it looks like it is, okay, so this is 1 1/4 inches from the bottom. So I'm going to use this guide to put it in place. I'm just going to use some Stampin' Seal. Probably didn't need to use that much. Okay, so that's 1 1/4 here and 1 1/4 there. Whoops, it bent just as I went to lay it down. Okay, 1 1/4 here. And 1 1/4 there. All right. That way I know it'll be level. So this is the bottom. I want some ribbon on it, and it's going to be just enough, just high enough to cover that seam there. So I'll put some Stampin' Seal on the back here where I know that ribbon is going to fall. Find my curve so I'll know which is the front. So the top is just going to barely cover that seam there. And bring it around. Okay, there we go. Now we can put it on the front of our card. And it looks like there's 1/8 of an inch all around. And I know this is where I'm going to put my bow. So I want to put a glue dot there that will kind of hold that ribbon in place. So I'm just going to take this and basically pick that up, keep it as flat as possible, and stick it under there where that bow is going to be to give it a little bit of support. It looks like it's down a little bit, but it's going to be hidden by the bow, so it won't matter. Now, for our flowers, I took great lengths to make them different lengths, different heights. So I'm going to look at these really quick. I have, so find your 3 largest flowers. You'll put one there, one over here, and one kind of in the center. So you kind of want this up in the corner and this in the bottom corner. These are your largest ones. Then your medium one is going to go next to that one, and you're going to have a medium one next to that one, and then a small one here and a small one here. And now we're going to put those on with mini dimensionals, and I'm thinking that's what I used. Okay, that one's on with the large dimensional. Large, large, and large. Okay, so large and large. So this one here in the center, one large dimensional. Just put it in the center. Okay. And then this one next to it, one large dimensional. It's going to go back up here. This one down here, one large dimensional. Okay, these on the side, 2 large dimensionals. If you don't want a lot of dimension, then you might not want to put 2 large dimensionals there. So 1, and then I'm going to put another one right on top of that, just like that. I took the paper off the first one and it's going to go here. This one probably should have been a little bit more. Let me see if it's too late to move it. Wiggle it around, maybe. Can wiggle it off without tearing the paper. Yeah, okay, it goes there. Okay, now this one is going to get 2 large dimensionals. Take the paper off, the backing, put another one right on top of it. This just gives it more of a, I don't know, a more realistic look, like a bouquet. And then these 2 small ones we're going to put on with 1 small dimensional. Okay, so 1 small dimensional on the little ones. See if I can get in camera here for you. 1 small dimensional for this one, and 1 small dimensional for this one. Okay, there's our flowers. We do need to put some on the inside, a medium one, but we're going to use glue dots for these. So the medium one goes here, the small one goes here, if you can fit them there. So glue dot, come on, I'm twisting it off. Glue dot for that one, glue dot for this one. Ta-da! Cute, cute, cute. Now leaves. This is going to be a little tedious. We want to make sure we leave room for thanks so much. In fact, let's go ahead and put our thanks so much on there. And we're going to use the small dimensionals for that. Put them away too soon. Let's put a row of small dimensionals, probably 4. Okay. And it's just a little bit below the line there. Make sure that it's even. Okay. And this little flower here is a little high, but I don't know if I can convince it. I'm just twisting and jiggling. There. I convinced it. And I'm going to use little dots of glue to put my leaves on. And each one of these gets 1 leaf, except for this one here is going to get a double leaf, like right there. And if you need to cut off the stem to make it fit on any of these, you can. So I'm going to get some stuff on my fingers to make it a little more sticky so that things stick to it. Alright, so little dot of glue here and here. That's a little bit too much for that 1 leaf. So this is a perfect use for your take your pick tool. It has this little sticky thing here on the end. You might have to twist it to get it to come up. Don't twist it very much, because you twist it a little and then it comes out. So I'm going to see if I can get it to stick. Whoops. It's kind of hard. This one is, the others will be easier. All right, so I'm just going to stick that right there. Now the others, we can put the glue in place and then put the leaves in place. Okay, so that's when this will come in handy. All right, so we need a leaf here and here and here. So I'm just going to come over here and pick up some leaves. Make sure that they are facing the right way. So, like I said, if you need to cut off any of the stems to make it fit, you can do that. Find that piece of glue. See, now this one I need to cut the stem off because it won't go underneath the flower, but it won't show. Okay, so I'm going to stick that right there. We'll do a couple more. I'm going to put a leaf here, here, and here. There. There. And again, I have to cut that stem off. It's so sticky because of the glue on my fingers. Making progress though, huh? All right, we're gonna do a leaf here, and one here, and one here. There's a leaf that came over this way. Maybe it wants to be put on. And wouldn't they all be upside down? Of course. Okay, and then we need 2 leaves for this one. These are so small. I think I'm going to cut the stem of this one too. Then 2 more for this one. It looks like that one had 3 actually. Maybe I'll use one of these that has 2. Nope, I don't want to do that because it's going to cover up. Maybe I will just cut off that extra leaf and just make it a single leaf. Okay, get in there. You know, I need to cut that stem. It's too there. And it's like surgery here. I wonder if I could use a double one down here. Yeah, I could probably use a double one down there. And then we need a small one up here. That one that I cut off will fit there perfectly. And then I have some extras that I didn't need. All right, our bow. Our bow and our pearls are the last thing we have to do. So I'm going to take my piece of 8-inch. I believe it was 8-inch. No, 10-inch. Going to do 2 loops and then fold it over, like make an X. And I'm going to push this behind and through this little hole right here. Just like this, and then I'm going to pull on the loops, straighten them out. It's not a really big bow, but it's not a small bow either. It's a little bit bigger than it should be. Let's see how that looks. Still a little big. Yeah, there we go. And I'm just gonna cut kind of like this and kind of like this. And this likes to fray, so I'm gonna take my glue and I'm gonna just put a light line of glue across the edge there, and when it dries it'll be completely, you won't be able to see it, and that'll just keep it from fraying so badly, because it does like to fray, unfortunately. So I'm just gonna take this and get rid of the excess. And you might want to let that dry a little bit before you try to put it on your card. And I think that I'm going to put it here. Is that the side I'm going to use? Yep. So I'm going to take some glue dots, probably about 3. Once I've decided which side I want. 1, 2, 3, along that knot back there. Get lots of coverage. And then where I put that glue dot, that's where I'm going to put this and fluff it up a little bit. Now the pearls are going to be inside your here, and I'll tell you, these like to hide. You might look in there and say there's nothing in there, but there is. These are 2 the medium pearls from the Pearl Basic Jewels. I'm going to put the lid back on this, because the top, because you don't want that to dry out. And I'll just pick up one of these pearls, put it on one side of the thank you so much, And then the other pearl on the other side of thank you so much. Come on, come on, come on. Alrighty, that is it, guys. We are done. Hope you enjoyed making this adorable little card with me. So we have one more project number 4 in the Sweet as a Peach class. And again, check out my website, www.carolbcrafts.com, to see what current class kit I'm offering. Thanks for watching. Bye now.